The regular meeting of the Board of Trustees, and we will start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please call the roll.
Trustee Mathis.
Here.
Trustee Gifford.
Here.
Trustee Figueroa.
Here.
Trustee Rizzo.
Here.
Mayor Casper.
Here. Item 3 is privilege of the floor. Does anybody care to be heard at privilege of the floor tonight? Seeing none, I'll close privilege of the floor. And we'll go to item number 4, which is a resolution regarding the transfer of county-owned property to the Village of Scotia. So we had talked to you guys, we had agreed to take 2 parcels of the county-owned property. And I'm just going to hold this up so that you can see. The yellow ones are the ones that we knew about. The pink one is a weird one that goes in between the backyard property lines and serves as part of the drainage for the whole drainage system up there. And at first we were a little bit concerned with taking that because of clearing brush and all that, but in good faith effort with the county, we agreed to do it. It hasn't been maintained since it was formed anyway. But what we found out, I think today, or close to today, was with the transfer of the property, what hasn't happened is this. So the property was owned by the developer. The developer abandoned the property, and way back in history, before any of us were involved in politics, it was never transferred over to the village as it should have been. So it still is the property of the developer. Typically what happens in that case is the county forecloses and takes ownership of it. They never did that. So what's been happening is these properties are still taxed to the developer. He doesn't pay the taxes. The county then reimburses us for the taxes that would have been collected. If we were to take, so the county's never taken ownership. If we were to take ownership of these properties right now, we would have to pay the taxes to the school district and the town for this year on these properties. After we own them for 1 year, then they would be tax exempt because it would be village property inside the village. I don't want to pay those taxes. So I want to put it back on the county for the time being and have them take ownership and then transfer it to us so we're not stuck with a tax bill for properties that we shouldn't be paying taxes on. So I'm going to ask the table item number.
So they haven't foreclosed yet, though?
No, they have.
Oh,
I just-
okay. Yep,
so they-
correct my English.
So they have foreclosed, they just haven't taken a deed and filed it yet. So they would do that simultaneously, they would, we'd file their deed and then ours immediately after. But because they haven't taken title to it, Carver is still getting billed. And so, like right now, the village tax is unpaid, and we would get reimbursed. So it would really, I talked to the county today, and we have to see if we can get exempt, right away without waiting for the next assessment cycle.
So if Lydia can work it out so that we're exempt from the taxes, then I would advocate taking it as soon as possible, but still want to pay taxes on our own property, so I'm going to move that we table item number 4. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks. Item number 5 is a resolution to appoint Josh Galora to the position of laborer effective August 13th, which would be next Monday. We've all had a chance to talk to him and meet him. He's been working with us for quite a while now. Anybody care to move that we?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion on that one? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Welcome to the village, Josh, again, as a full-time employee. I'm glad to have you. If you want to sneak out, you go right ahead. Item number 6 is the approval of volunteer firefighters Dave Francisco and Ryan Primo. And the one thing I'll say about them is they are former volunteers for us that left for one reason or another, and they're coming back. So Dave was a student, or actually both of them are student money, so they're Scotia guys. So
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
any discussion on that one? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 6 is to amend our fee schedule for the stop work order lifting fee. We discussed this in our work session where we, got situations where some of these house flippers are working without a permit. Lewis has to do a stop work order. In normal times, that they would just stop work and say, oops, sorry. But this seems to be a business model for some of these people, where they just go back and they start working again. So at this point, if we get an issue like that, the first violation, in order to lift the stop work order fee, would be a $200. Further violations beyond the first time would be a $400 fee to lift the order. So, anybody care to amend the fee?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on that one? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 8 is a resolution authorizing the formation of the Department Head Association. So we talked about this in our work session as well. I don't know if we need any other.
Can I just get a list of who that would include?
Yep, I have the letter. PERB requires, a letter from the people involved, so it's the park superintendent, fire chief, police chief, clerk treasurer, and superintendent of public works.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 9 is to designate the Flint House Open House Fall Festival on September 23rd. I found my notes on that, so it is the 360th anniversary of the settlement of the area known now as the Village of Scotia. So, the building of the Glenn Sanders Mansion. She's planning an agricultural event. So at this point, she's growing hops and broom corn down there, so she wants an overview of the beginning of the village. Some artist vendors, but we're looking to name it a village event for insurance purposes tonight. So, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Chris, what's the hours of that?
No, I don't think she's given them to me yet.
Okay.
She gave me the date, but not the hours. Okay. And my comments. So in the order of the claims was our support of the Oktoberfest on September 29th. So you might remember last year, as part of our donation, we give $1,000. We get a 10-by-10 space where you can put a pop-up in. And I did offer to the bid once again that we would do it in conjunction with them, so we share the space and all that. So September 29th, save your, mark your calendar, and we'll be there. Just a reminder that the building committee, Tom, I wanted to ask you, did you get my email to? Okay, I couldn't remember if I put you on the list or not, so I'm glad I did. So we have our second meeting of the Citizens Facilities Committee tomorrow night. Clerk treasurer and fire department will present a departmental overview of what they do, how they do it, and how the facility does or doesn't meet their needs. That'll be tomorrow night, which is the 9th. On the 23rd, it'll be police, court, and building inspector, and that will give our people a complete overview. And hopefully, I sent them the information early so they could read the written overviews. Our department heads will just kind of go through it, not read it, but go, just hit the high points. And then I offered any specific tours or anything they really want to see about our facility, they can do then too, so should be good. So I got a call from the guy that signed the lease for the bowling alley. So he has signed a lease to buy. Part of that agreement is he's got to, fix it and make it up to code. If you've been by there, you might see the doors are open. He's got a construction firm in there doing work on it, doing some gutting. Number one is going to be to get the roof so it's watertight and everything else, but he really seems to me like a legitimate business person that's interested in this project. And one nice thing is he's got a financial advising business, and he's opened up a storefront next to Payette's Music. So he's got his full-time business on the avenue now, and he's got this project as well. So I'm hoping we see some good movement for the bowling alley. And then I had made an error.
Pockets are deep.
What's that?
I hope his pockets
Well,
are
you know what he's trying to do is, he does need some financing, but you can't get financing, it's tough to get financing on a building that doesn't meet code. So he's investing his own money to get the building to at least meet code so he can go in and isn't facing condemnation. and hoping that once the building is at a point where it can safely be entered and people can be in there working, then you can get financing to do the renovation, so. And I just want to correct myself, I had misspoken and said that the Complete Streets meeting was on the 16th of this month. That's just a consultation with me and the CDTC on what the workshop is going to be like. The workshop itself is going to be on October 17th, so we have quite a while before that. So, in case you had that on your calendar, I just wanted to correct that. And those are my comments. Item number 11, correspondence liaison and special committee reports. Trustee Mathis.
Nothing to report.
Trustee Gifford.
No planning board this month. We had a fire department meeting that was uneventful. I think that's it.
Trustee Tiberio.
Nothing to report.
And Trustee Rizzo.
Nothing to report this month.
You can tell it's summer, right? Item number 12, any questions or comments on the departmental reports? Anybody care to accept them with thanks?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 13, the audit of claims.
Make a motion to pay those?
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? Call the roll.
Trustee Mathis?
Yes.
Trustee Gifford?
Yes.
Trustee Tiberio?
Yes.
Trustee Rizzo?
Yes.
Mayor Cosner?
Yes. Item 14, new business. Any trustee have any new business for the good of the order?
I would like to be excused for next month's meeting. We're going to be in Europe.
Nice.
I'll be here for the work session, but not
Okay.
the.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, the two things I have, this isn't really business, I just need a consensus from you guys. I got a letter from Village Tavern. I don't know if you heard or not, they had a water leak upstairs, it collapsed the roof, they've been doing the repairs, close to done, and you know, it's expensive for them, but they are putting it back together.
Did you have to wash your mug?
But I don't have, no, I don't, I don't have much money at the BT. So anyway, they're putting it back together. The last, I think, 3 years, they've had a block party. So they're just asking for a nod from us whether or not we would still support that block party. What they do is they close down the block of 5th Street from, or excuse me, 5th Street from Bly to Houston. They put a tent up in the Bly Pizza parking lot, and they kind of do an across the street thing between them.
Well, they need the tent more than ever now, right?
Probably, yeah. Yep.
They're gonna do it for the grand opening when they get ready?
He didn't say for the grand opening, but, and they don't even have a specific date. So late September, early October, but they just wanted to know if the board supported it. If we support it, then it would go to traffic safety, you know, for their approval. But if we didn't support it, I just wanted to.
I support
Okay.
it.
All right, yeah, it seems to have been good the last couple of years.
Good turnout last year.
Yep. And then my other piece of new business is, we had talked about, you know, another position in the park, and I had the department heads run money and see what that would look like. Are you guys interested in having our floating third meeting of the month, on the third Monday of the month, to discuss that? Okay, so we'll schedule that, and so that would be August 20th. We all okay with that?
That's 6.
Okay.
I have it on my calendar.
Okay. And then I had two other items that I just wanted to discuss in executive session. We'll bring Lydia with us. I don't think they're big, but they're two personnel, or well, I don't know. Maybe I should ask Lydia if they need to be executive or open session. So this is somebody that's asking for their late fee to be forgiven. Could be learned, yeah, but it's under taxes, so it's not in our code.
Member of the public?
Yep.
Unless you have to discuss their very personal circumstances.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay, so do an open session. I don't know where to go with this one. So we have a resident who claims to have paid their tax bill on July 31st? on the last day of taxes and dropped it in the drop box after business hours. That day, we generally get 20 to 30 of those because people always wait till the last minute. A month later, the check had not been cashed. So she came back to us and said, look, I wrote a check, I dropped it in the drop box. The check hasn't come through. We have no record of receiving that check at all. So she's insistent that she dropped it in the drop box. We did a search, it didn't fall anywhere. All the other checks that were delivered had been processed. We've had a situation before where people claim they did it and they didn't really do it. We have no way of knowing. So it's kind of a,
Well, I have personal knowledge of doing that.
so either, I don't even know if it is legal to forgive a late fee.
No, I don't think so.
I'm not in favor of that.
Okay. Well, that's, and that's, I was kind of going there. I hate to have to say to people, I wish I could trust you, but it just is not. But if it's not legal to do it, then I think that
I can double check, but unfortunately,
That's a very
things,
slippery slope.
it's a slippery slope. And things also get lost in the regular mail too.
Mhm.
And so unless you have proof of posting,
Yeah.
if someone came up with it a month late, we could accept it, but it's never found.
Okay. So if it's found or something, then that's
It was
one
like a
thing.
bite in the door or something, wherever. I
Right,
don't
or
know
got
the setup.
mixed in with
Yeah,
something and
who
you
knows?
discover it and.
Yeah, that's the tough thing, my experience is, unfortunately, when you start bending the rules, it opens the floodgates. So you do it for one, and all of a sudden, all of these people, oh yeah, I put mine in there.
It is the late fee is statutory.
Okay.
It says,
Okay, all right, so, I think we even now. And the other was, I was contacted by, Jamie McFarland, who used to work for the town. So the Scotia Glenville GOP is putting together, I just want to let you know that I had this conversation with them, is putting together a village-town softball game, which sounds like a great idea, but it's also a fundraiser for the Scotia Glenville GOP. So the question to me from Jamie was, can I recruit from, village staff and all that? What I told him was that although I support the idea of politicians getting together and doing things, it's still a fundraiser for a political party, and I have forbidden political activity in Village Hall. So no, he could not recruit here in Village Hall. I said if it was for Scotia Relief or something like that, it'd be a great thing, but it's really a political recruitment. So I don't care who plays in the game and who doesn't, but I just want you to know that that was the conversation. I think Jamie took it pretty well. I thought about it, what I was going to say before I wrote back to him, but just, that kind of politics does not belong inside a political institution, so just so you know.
But maybe he does want to play. We were our butts handed to us last year.
You wouldn't want me to play in anyway, because. All right, anything else for the good of the order? Entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you.